Kanjiki desu.
Konnichiwa, Neko Sensei desu.
El día de hoy les traemos un video de reacción, como me gusta hacerlos a mí, pero que son un gran trabajo, hablando acerca de los influencers que van a Japón y la realidad que esto representa para el país. Hablaremos concretamente de un video de Abroad in Japan, que si no lo conoces es un canal muy bueno que habla de un extranjero, él es inglés, nos cuenta sus experiencias, también nos muestra lugares, pero concretamente en este video lo que estamos hablando es sobre los influencers que van a Japón. El video, el título es en inglés, pero a mí me sale por algún motivo en español, dice la terrible verdad sobre los mayores influencers de YouTube. Entonces vamos a verlo, vamos a reaccionar, vamos a comentar con mi esposo que es japonés y que también le gusta YouTube, entonces él también puede dar sus comentarios frente a estos influencers. Sin darle más largas a esto, comencemos. Solo ya, Neko-chan, we are going to start. So you like YouTube, right? So
Yes.
you know about YouTube influencers.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start.
You know, we're often taught in Hollywood films that the bad guys don't get to win, that there's consequences for your actions, right? But the older you get, the more you realise that simply isn't the case. I've been lucky to do this 12 years now, and in that time I've witnessed YouTube empires rise and fall. And amidst those 12 years, I can pinpoint the worst moment of my whole career without hesitation, the absolute low point of it all. 6 years ago, on a cold winter's morning, a Japanese news crew turned up to my apartment from the biggest morning news show in the country called Mezamashi Terebi. I'd been contacted because something awful had happened, and I'd been asked to explain why.
Do you remember what happened? You don't know what happened in the show? He told in a previous videos because you don't remember, but I remember what happened.
Okay, I see that.
That he was interviewed. But this is not the case of Korea. It's not because before he was interviewed because he put a video about, oh, I was wake up by the alarm that North Korean throw missiles. No, this is different, but I remember this thing.
The world's biggest YouTubers at the time had turned up and done some really messed up things, from throwing Pokemon balls at police officers and terrorizing the public, to going into a forest and filming something so horrific I can't even explain what it is, because it would instantly have this video blacklisted.
Well, you never stand next to that guy.
So you know Logan Paul, right? You used to watch Logan Paul, no?
Of course not.
Oh no, really?
Of course not.
I have a memory that you used to watch Logan
Of
Paul.
course not. I don't watch something stupid like him.
Okay. Which is the one that used Mr. Beast.
A little bit. But he's also a bit stupid.
Mr. Beast not be like stupid, like oh look, this is the biggest house in the world. It's like it's
Not
for kids, no?
interesting. For kids. Teenagers.
No, for kids, for kids. Okay, you used to watch PewDiePie.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
And
but they're
Logan.
like similar.
Yeah, they're similar.
Yes, I.
Just the walking people and showing off stuff.
And in a normal world, what that guy did would have been a career-ending move.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
If not that, then perhaps another video he posted just weeks later, tasering and attempting to give CPR to a koi carp that he'd pulled out of the water.
Lapse in my judgment.
And in the years since, the headlines surrounding this guy have continued to spell bad news. There's not been much in the way of a redemption arc.
Severe lapse in my judgment.
You think his apologies are real apologies?
I don't think so.
You think he's just apologizing because people are putting pressure on him? Do you happen has this happened in Japan before, like a YouTuber doing bad things, or an influencer doing bad things, or a person
Yeah,
doing
of course, doing something stupid to get attention, right?
bad things?
That happens everywhere, right? In Japan as well.
But you don't know. I mean, people here watching, they don't know. They think Japan is perfect.
No, of course not. There are many stupid Japanese people
Also getting attention, right?
who did something like this.
But why do you think Logan Paul became that controversial? Because he was gaijin?
Yeah, and also what he did was so extreme.
Okay. Because he went to Aokigahara, right? And he showed.
And the show did, right? Right. It
That's
was
too extreme.
out of question.
Indeed, that's too much.
You can probably imagine my disappointment when Mr. Beast, the world's biggest YouTuber, partnered with this guy, Logan Paul, and endorsed him to an audience of over 300 million subscribers, many of them kids.
Mr. B has 300 million now? You knew?
No, I didn't
Wow,
know.
that's a lot. I thought he
But
was
he's
in
the-
100, no?
But he's the YouTuber that has the most subscribers, or Indian guy?
The
Indian
Indian channel.
Indian channel, that one is the most, okay.
The Bollywood. Remember that we watched the Bollywood channel?
It's an exciting month for Mr. Beast, particularly with the impending launch of the somewhat controversial Amazon TV show, in which he allegedly spent $14 million constructing what appears to be a rainbow-coloured prison camp. Oh wait, he just wanted to sell snack boxes to children.
I like my cheese drippy, bro.
Snack box.
That looks horrible. What's that? You think in the United States a lot of kids are watching Mr. Beast, right?
I think so.
At first, it was very strange. But how could Mr. Beast, a guy who is famed for being a genius, who mastered the algorithm, how could he not calculate that partnering with such a man would be anything other than an idea? This is literally the guy who once made a video saying Logan Paul's name 100,000 times. Several months before Logan Paul himself went into a Japanese forest and gave the world 100,000 reasons to forget his name.
You think Mr. Beast is a good channel, is a good person, or you think Mr. Beast is just making these things for money?
Of course, doing it for money. Of course, helping people is a second thing.
For him.
He helping only people, then he would donate all the money to African kids. He could do that, but he doesn't do that.
Now, a few weeks ago, I had a rant about this on a stream after I drank a little bit too much caffeine.
You think Mr. Beast knows abroad in Japan?
Yeah, I think so.
But he only has 3 million, Mr. Beast has 300.
But Mr. Beast came to Japan before and
What?
they met each other.
How do you know?
I think so. I saw one of
Oh, we
the
can look for
videos.
that later. Really?
Them meeting.
Oh, wow. Wow, I didn't know. I have no idea. Wow. Interesting. I thought it was just like a Mr. Beast will never know about him. Interesting. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Last year, I made a video on two influencers who were kind of the spiritual successors to Logan Paul, who came to Japan and did some really stupid things. One of them didn't learn from his errors and is now in a South Korean jail. And the other guy who rode a bullet train without paying.
Oh, the Johnny Somali. So he's in South Korea. He went to South Korea and he was doing bad things in South Korea too. He was showing the Japanese flag to the people in South Korea, and he went to the statues of the victims of abuse, of the Japanese abuse on people, and he was doing dancing in there with the statue, and now he's in the jail in South Korea. They put
Okay,
him in
that's
jail.
great.
Yeah, but in Japan they didn't do it, but he is in jail. And this one is the one that he's going to say, the one that traveled Japan for free, that was entering the Shinkansen without paying and all of that.
Went back home to Cyprus to become a member of parliament in the EU. Yes, it seems Phidias, the man who treated Japanese infrastructure like his personal Disneyland fast pass. But whether
I have no idea. He became a politician. No.
Now, when my initial rant got picked up on stream a few weeks ago, it was sort of misconstrued. People thought my argument was making money is bad, or making money is bad as an influencer, which simply isn't the case. And if it was the argument I was making, it would be very hypocritical for somebody who's done sponsor segments myself. If I hadn't said yes to a few sponsors, I couldn't have built this epic studio. I couldn't have hired a team to create Japan's largest travel series, Journey Across Japan. We had 63 episodes, and only one of them had a sponsor segment. Very proud of that. And I couldn't have spent 6 weeks in autumn producing a documentary about a Japanese town that tragically got completely destroyed in an earthquake. Please watch the documentary if you see it come up next week on YouTube.
That's, Fukushima.
But the argument I hope to make wasn't a controversial one. It's making money with principles matters, and partnering with people that don't mock the dead in a forest matters. And if the people at the top of this platform with unimaginable reach don't have a good moral compass to guide them, then we all lose for it, particularly the next generation growing up watching this, especially if they're raised on a diet of lunch late.
Who do you watch on YouTube, Nico-chan? Let us know. Illustrate us.
Watch someone who is intelligent in terms of, basically I think you should watch both sides of the opinions if you want to follow something. For example, cryptocurrency, the one side of people will tell you that you should invest, but the other side will tell you they do not. But by knowing both of the sides, right, of the opinions, you will know, right, which one you should follow, right? Right, just that's your estimation, right? I think important thing is you need to expand your perspectives so that you can decide which one is better.
That's true. And for example, about news, general news that I can share to you today. There are news that, for example, the coming years, this year there were 34 million tourists in Japan. And they say, is Japan ready for 60 million tourists in the future? What do you think about that? If 60 million people come to Japan in 1 year, a lot of people are going to be like them. So what do you think about that? Japan being so cheap is going to allow many bad people to come to Japan. Do you think so?
Yeah, but that's fine because at the same time Japan gets more profit out of that about money. Right? I think that's a pros and cons. I think everything has pros and cons. So I don't think of it as very bad because the people who will do bad thing in Japan will be punished in Japan. Either way, they will receive something they deserve, right, as a punishment. So I don't care about what will happen. Or what they will do because they will receive their consequence at the end.
Well, Johnny Wally now received the consequence in South Korea. In South Korea, he received the consequence. I didn't know the other one got elected as a politician. Well, he didn't receive any consequence. But eventually, I guess it will come to them.
Yeah, and even Logan Paul, I think he has a lot of viewers, but I'm not sure whether he's happy or not because it comes down to, right, the happiness. It's not about money. I'm not sure he's always craving for money and the reputation, but I'm not sure whether that corresponds to his happiness or not because he has also a lot of opponents, meaning he needs to deal with the bad comments. Right? I'm not sure. At the end, just they will receive their consequence, right, for what they did.
Interesting. I hope that the consequence will come to them. I mean, if they're doing bad things, it's fair that they pay. And eventually, I guess, we will have to wait and see what happens with Japan in the future with all the 60 million people coming into the country. How is it going to be? I guess Japan is going to be more strict with the things in general against the people that are coming, against the influencers. I guess there are going to be more places that you cannot take your camera outside, which is terrible for people like me. But in general, I guess consequences will come eventually. Okay. Do you have a final message to the people that are watching this video about Japan, about the YouTube content that you consume, which was mainly this video? I thought I was going to be more about Japan, but at the end was a reflection for you to realize who are you consuming, which I think is really important because I mean, a lot of people that see these videos are young. There are some that are going to study to the university and watching this video, and they're still easy to influence. So it's important for them to know what they're consuming because if not, they're going to become bad people too. Maybe. There's a probability. So in general, do you have a message that you want to give to this audience?
Audience? I think the audience who are watching this kind of thing are people who are interested in Japan. I think I would say is that if you want to learn about Japanese culture, then just start from just learning language and etiquette that is prevalent in Japan by watching, I think, Japanese people, not the foreigners traveling in Japan, because usually foreigners do not understand Japanese culture, but the Japanese people who speak English know Japan better. So I think you should watch Japanese YouTubers then.
There is a YouTuber that maybe you know. This one,
I know.
Lesa Shogo, your Japanese friend in Kyoto. Like, for example, him, ¿no? He's a good image, ¿no? Ok, thank you so much for your opinion. Y a ustedes muchísimas gracias por ver hasta esa parte de este video. La verdad es que la reflexión más grande es crear conciencia de lo que consumimos y definitivamente para un país como Japón, yo sé que las personas que ven estos videos no son personas malas, o sea, no son personas que van a hacer cosas malas, pero siempre llegarán nuevas personas que quizás estén pensando en hacer cosas malas. Es común para mí encontrarme con preguntas que quizás son un poco extrañas, como tipo, en Japón las mujeres, cosas así, que me hacen pensar como, ok. Pero bueno, sé que eventualmente esas personas simplemente se quedan con sus ideas raras y nunca van a viajar a Japón, así que no hay problema. Pero si ustedes viajan a Japón, por favor aprendan cómo comportarse, es lo más importante. Dado que este es un país que tiene cultura muy antigua, muy rica, y donde las personas, a pesar de que se vean siempre sonrientes, quizás por dentro están muy enojados contigo y puedes pagar las consecuencias eventualmente. Les agradezco porque hasta parte de este video, no se olviden dejar abajo todos sus comentarios, compartir con sus amigos y que tengan un bonito día. Matane.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.